Welcome, everybody. It is Tuesday, September 28th, here on Sports Stuff Hub Live, episode number 49. And it is the last Tuesday of September, and we are damn near into October. Fall is starting to peek its head. Temperatures are dropping. The rain in Seattle is officially starting, as it's been off and on raining all day today. Not really any sun. And what that means is that football season is in full swing. And the disappointment level of some teams and the excitement level for other teams. There's a lot of teams right now that are already struggling, and we're only 3 weeks into the season. And a number of teams that are absolutely thriving and superseding all expectations that were placed on them in the preseason and before that by all the pundits. And I'm not going to sit here and say that the first 3 weeks of the season makes or breaks a team, but there are a few teams that are going to struggle digging out of the hole that they've put themselves in. We have a number of teams who are currently sitting at 1-2 that were expected to be division champs. The Kansas City Chiefs, the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now, I know what a lot of people are saying. The Pittsburgh Steelers weren't given a shot in hell to really be the division champs, considering Baltimore and Cleveland are in their division. And to be quite honest, they shouldn't be. And they did not address their issues well enough in the offseason. And I will say that during the draft, yes, they drafted 2 rookie offensive linemen, and that's fantastic. But I still stand by what I said to begin with, that they, and don't get me wrong, I'm not a Najee hater at all. The guy is tremendously talented, and he's going to be very good. But for this season, that's not what the Steelers needed. The Steelers needed to build offensive line, and considering there was still at least 2 top offensive tackles left on the board, taking Najee Harris, in my opinion, was not the play that they should have made. We're going to dig into that a little bit deeper tonight. We're going to cover some NFL stuff. We got a little bit of a late start tonight, and I will say that I don't have a box to rip tonight due to some unfortunate circumstances where an order of mine got canceled. And so I had some retail product that was coming in that I was going to use for doing some breaks at the end of the shows. With the order being, being canceled over the weekend, it was supposed to be here today, and now it's not going to be. So now I have to scramble to find some product for the next month to rip. So I'll be doing that over the next little while, but I do not have any product ready to go for tonight. Unfortunately, I tried looking at some of the local stores, and they had nothing. All they had was some single packs of Topps Gypsy Queen baseball, and what was they had Topps Series 2 baseball single packs, and I was just like, yeah, not the type of quality I'm going for ripping boxes or ripping product at the end of the night. So tonight is just going to be a show with no big fantastic finale to it. But we are going to talk sports cards, though, to start with. And we're going to talk about some upcoming releases. Now, we have break night going on tomorrow night. Break night is every Wednesday here on this YouTube channel for the time being. And I say that because there are some potential changes, modifications, we'll call them, in the pipe. And so when that takes place, I'll let everybody know. And there's going to be some upgrades. So anyway, back to break night. Break night coming up tomorrow night. I'm bringing back Bowman baseball, and part of it is because I kind of was a little underwhelmed last week with our Bowman rips, and so I want to do another Bowman baseball rip. We are going to do a 2-box, but it's a combo, 1 hobby and 1 HTA box. And the HTA box is literally just 3 cards. It's 3 autos. I struggle with why they make that product, and let me talk about this for a minute. I need to move my mic. Hang on on a second. This is, for some reason, my cord is short for some reason. I don't like to pick on the manufacturers. I really don't. I rarely do on social media. I rarely do in public formats. And it's because I try to support the manufacturers as best I can, because that is also some of my lifeblood. That is where some of my profits come from. That is what keeps my business alive, is the manufacturers of sports cards. So I try to go easy on them for the most part. You know, there's some absolutely atrocious things that they do in terms of products that they make, like the whole Trey Lance jumbo patch from Immaculate Collegiate that came out, that I pointed out on my Twitter handle, that I caught on eBay. And yes, I will take credit. I was the person that pointed that out, and it went viral. The University of North Dakota logo, which is not the North Dakota State Bison logo, that was on the jumbo patch card of the Trey Lance card. That, to me, was a buffoon, boneheaded decision by Panini. That right there, whoever their manufacturer is, but that's supposed to be QC in Panini's court. That's not supposed to be just on the manufacturer in terms of the printing company. Panini should have addressed that to start with, and I still have not seen a press release where they've addressed it. And I could be missing that, because once I pointed this out, a couple of big social media influencers decided to take my pictures that I screenshotted. I have the metadata to prove it, and blow it up. Now, they could have talked to Panini. They could have talked to, whoever, and gotten answers, and fantastic. I have not seen it published. Anyway, not trying to get onto a tangent about that. I try to support the manufacturers. Now, one thing that I don't understand from a manufacturing standpoint, from a product, setup standpoint, is how you can have Bowman Chrome baseball, hobby box, and I have one right here, and be a box with two master boxes, or two mini boxes in it, that each contain an auto, so that you're getting two autos in this box, and you're getting multiple parallels in this box, and you're getting packs of cards. You get 5 cards per pack, 6 packs in each mini box. So this master box right here contains 12 packs, okay? And each pack is 5 cards. So that's 60 cards. 2 cards of the 60 are autos. At least 3 cards in each mini box have been parallels from what I've seen, okay? At release day, these were $200. Now, this is the HTA, or choice, as they've called it for some reason. This is the HTA box. This contains 3 cards. Only 3 cards. This contains 3 autographed cards. That's it. And yet, this box costs more than this box. So explain to me how this box, containing 1 additional auto in a product like Bowman Chrome, where it's very much dependent on the colors and the variations, where you get none of that in this, is more expensive than this product. This box is $50 less, or at least was on release day. This was $200, this was $250. You get 1 additional auto, but no base, no parallels, nothing. It's just autos. Now you can get parallels of autos, sure. But you get no base, which the Bowman Firsts, you look back at Luis Roberts' Bowman First, his Chrome Bowman First, and tell me that's not a valuable card. Look at Wander Franco. Tell me that's not a valuable card. Look at Tatis. Tell me that's not a valuable card. Acuna, Vladdy. Look at anybody's Bowman First Chrome base rookie card. Or not base rookie. Prospect first card. And tell me that's not valuable. In my opinion, this box is more valuable. But for some reason, it's not. Because you're getting Bowman first base. You're getting Bowman first colors. You're getting, 2 autos in this. You're getting no Bowman first base. You're getting no Bowman first colors. You're just getting 3 autos. So to sacrifice 1 auto from this to get this should be worth more. I would gladly pay $50 less to have this product with 1 less auto than this. I have not opened this for the first time ever in years of opening Bowman Chrome. I didn't open an HTA box. And I look back and think of how stupid I was in previous years for opening these boxes. And I'm not going to do it anymore. Now, I'm not saying that the break that we're running tomorrow night of this is a foolish idea. It's why I paired it with the other break. Because now instead of being 2 autos with colors and parallels, now we're getting 5 autos total between the 2. That setup I can understand. Now, if they took this box right here and added this into it and made it a $500 product, I'm on board. Yeah. 5 autos with all the colors and parallels in here. Yeah. Sign me up. That's why I did this. That's why from now on when I do breaks, anytime you see one of these boxes, there's going to be a hobby box as well. No longer going to break just HTAs. It's just not worth it to break a solo HTA. So, therefore, combining the 2. From now on, if you ever catch a break on my website that is just HTA, shoot me an email, slap me. Remind me of that. Don't slap me. Remind me of that. Remind me that I said that. I need hobbies to go with it. Because this just is not enough. It's really not. There's not enough value to it. So, this plus this, 500, let's do it. Let's rip it. Let's do it. So, that's tomorrow night. 1 hobby box, 1 HTA box. That was my rant on sports cards. That was my rant on tops. I don't know why they do it. Let's stop the madness. Let's combine the 2 and call it good. Or just take this box and put 4 autos in it like you guys do with Bowman. Or no, Topps Finest, I think it is. Put 4 autos, 2 per, and make it a $350 box. Works for everybody. Make it 10 packs per mini. 5 cards per pack is fine. 10 packs per mini and 2 autos per. And charge $450. That still is huge. That product would be a sellout, guaranteed. And they'd still make a S-ton of money on it. So, hey, go get your spots in this because this is really affordable. $18, I believe it is. And I'm going to double check that because my memory sucks right now. So I'm going to double check that. But I believe it's $18 for that break. So make sure you get into that because that's crazy. And I think we're almost half full. And breaks tomorrow. Yes, breaks tomorrow. By the way, this came out like almost 2 weeks ago. And this prospect class is really good. The Bowman Firsts in here. And the product is already going up. So, as I said, this was like 200, less than 200 on release day. I want to say actually Topps had it for like 179, I believe. It's now, you can't find it under 250 a box. It's crazy. It's crazy. If I can get my hands on it, I bought a box off Fanatics because I had a gift card. And so I was able to get another one cheaper. So I'm going to be using that for group breaks in the future as well. Yeah, $18. Boom. Some of the comments here. No, David, I'm not going to rip the Prism Draft. That's I'm saving it for a special. The extra auto is usually a color auto, which for me makes up for all the color base. But I've seen other ones where it's literally a picture. Well, not other ones. I should say I've seen most of them where the color ends up being a pitcher. I get it. Yes, it's a gamble. But I've also seen boxes that they were straight up 3 base autos. And collation, yes, I understand that. I get it. I'm not happy with the product. I'm not happy with a standalone 3 auto being more than the base, because every hobby box that I've seen ripped has destroyed the value in the HTA boxes, unless they pull a ridiculously low number of one of the top guys. I get it. But for the most part, the HTA boxes have been less value than the hobby boxes, based on not just the 2 autos in the hobby, but based on the colors and the parallels. They really have been. Because especially when you can take a guy who is going to be this year's Luis Robert. So in 2024, a guy's going to get called up, and we're all going to be scrambling for our Bowman Chrome base firsts and sending them into PSA to get them gemmed so we can sell them for $200 to $250 a piece. That's literally how people were honest to God, printing money last summer. I know, because I did it multiple times. I ended up having over 20 Luis Robert Bowman Chrome base. And I actually just pulled one out of a PSA sub reveal that I did. You can go check my YouTube channel for the sub reveal. I just did this. This is one of the ones that I had lingering at PSA. This right here. If I can get that right there. Now, that wasn't in Bowman Chrome. That was actually in regular Bowman. But point still stands. It's his first Bowman Chrome. And a lot of people toss them to the side. I just slowly collected them. Or I should say, slowly didn't sell them. And then I was grading them and gemming them. I gemmed 5 straight. Sold everything no less than $200 a piece. So that's kind of my point behind it. You are seriously doing yourself a disservice by only opening an HTA. So that was my anyway. Rant over. They do make that already. It's super jumbo. They should make it in all Bowman releases. But yes, there is super jumbo, but not in Bowman Chrome. At least not that I've seen. I have not seen Bowman Chrome super jumbo. I've only seen Bowman and Bowman Draft super jumbos, which they really need to do it for Bowman Chrome. If they do make it for Bowman Chrome, I'll eat crow. I have no problem with that. I just want it. I need it. I want it. I want to break it. I want to rip it. And I want the cards. Okay, so that's break number 1. Combo 2021 Bowman Chrome Hobby and an HTA box. I just closed out the wrong screen. There we go. My bad. All right. We also have a product that releases this Wednesday, or tomorrow, I should say, and that's Obsidian Basketball. And I have 2 breaks of that up on the website. PYTs. Basketball is one of the hottest things because of LaMelo Ball, and everybody else is starting to dive in value. Tyrese Halliburton's prices have gone down. Anthony Edwards' prices have gone down. And you got to realize that, part of it is the fact that, Anthony Edwards plays for Minnesota. And let's take a look at the last several hyped up rookies that Minnesota has had and where their values are today. Well, the last one was Karl Anthony Towns. Well, Karl Anthony Towns was a big chase in 2016. And that didn't end well. His values are about a third or maybe even less than what they were. I would say maybe almost a tenth of what they were in 2015, 2016. And then the one before that was Andrew Wiggins. Ouch. That really didn't end well. Andrew Wiggins cards are like 1/100th of where they were. I remember seeing National Treasures RPAs of Andrew Wiggins being, 1,000, 1,500 plus, numbered out of, 99. And now they're, $100? Ish, if that. Flawless, NT. I think Impeccable was Impeccable wasn't out back then. It was What was one of the other high-end brands? I don't remember. Immaculate. That's what it was. And, yeah, Minnesota. They don't have guys' values last very well in Minnesota. So, Anthony Edwards' value is coming down. Tyrese Halliburton, his value has come down. And I haven't been following what's been going on with the Kings. Maybe they ditched everybody. I don't know. But Tyrese Halliburton's value was really good right before the playoffs. And then it just... So, and not that he's not good. And it hasn't, completely fallen off a cliff. But it's nowhere near what it was 3 months ago. And those values can very well come back up. Even LaMelo Ball's value has taken a bit of a dip. Except for when product first comes out. Noir, guarantee, as soon as this product starts hitting eBay, this stuff's going to fly. It is going to go absolutely insane with values. And then stuff's going to start hitting back to reality. And then basketball season's going to roll around in the end of October. We are literally a month away from basketball season. And then values are all going to go. I posted a picture the other day on Twitter. I'm going to show you guys this. And hopefully I don't drop a bunch of crap, but I want to show you guys this. This is what I've been doing during the basketball off season. I'm a retailer. You guys know that. I sell cards. So this is stack number 1 of basketball graded cards that I have right now for inventory for basketball season. That's stack number 1, okay? Stack number 2, okay? That's stack number 2 of just NBA. This is only NBA. Move this out of the way so I can slide this. Stack number 3, NBA. All NBA. Stack number 3. See that? And stack number 4. Okay? That's what I've been doing in the off season. Banking my NBA. I had a lot of people who were, coming to me, hey, do you have so-and-so? Do you have so-and-so? Yeah, I do. But stashed it all. I wasn't going to sit there and sell LaMelo Ball, Anthony Edwards, Tyrese Halliburton, Zion, Ja Morant for a half of what they were 3 months ago. That's foolish. As a retailer, as somebody who deals with it, I don't like selling out of season. And this is kind of a tip if anybody wants to get into more selling. Don't sell out of season. Sell at the hype time. Either sell leading up to the season, catch the hype of some of the guys who may not perform as well as some of their counterparts, or sell during the season after some big games. That's the best time to sell, is when they're on a run or something like that. Maybe you get lucky and they make the finals or win the finals and get an MVP, all that kind of stuff. You can sell that. Giannis's stuff went crazy after he won a championship. How about the fact that it's back where it was before he won? This year, basketball had no hype after the season. Football stayed all season, all off season. The first time that I've ever seen this happen in 20 years of collecting cards, buying, selling, and trading. More than 20, but 20 years of paying attention to eBay and paying attention to sales and stuff. Football stayed pretty steady. I had a conversation about this with somebody over the weekend. Normally, football, every sport, season, playoffs, Super Bowl, dies. And you can get stuff for a third of the price as you could have right before playoffs. And that's a month after the season ends. This year, guys like Burrow and Herbert and Tua, their values where they were in week 17 of the season were the same 6 weeks after the season ended, 10 weeks after the season ended, 16 weeks after the season ended. The values didn't tank like normal. Even Burrow being hurt, and then as the season started to come up closer, those values started to come back up even more. The only guys that really suffered a downfall, we'll call it, were Tom Brady and Patrick Mahomes. Now, Ryan, that's crazy talk. Tom Brady and Patrick Mahomes' values went down? Damn straight they did. Do you know why they went down? Because they were in the Super Bowl. So what happened in the Super Bowl? Well, the Chiefs got absolutely beat, crushed, dominated, destroyed by a superior Tampa Bay team. Now, I'm not saying that the Tampa Bay Bucks were a more talented team, but they beat them mentally. They beat them smart. They forced them to do the things that they weren't comfortable with, and they put a lot of pressure on Patrick Mahomes. Anyway, Brady's value went absolutely skyrocket again because he won another Super Bowl, and this time with a whole new team. So Brady rookie cards tripled in value over the 3 weeks leading up to the Super Bowl from where they were in October. Patrick Mahomes rookie cards went absolutely nuclear as well leading up to the Super Bowl. Why? GOAT versus baby GOAT. This is the thing that sports writers have wet dreams over at night. Patrick Mahomes, Tom Brady, Super Bowl. Which GOAT takes home the trophy? So it went nuclear. And so did values. For an example, Tom Brady's Bowman 2000 base rookie card. I had one in a PSA 8. I sold it, and I actually talk about this on my website in an article I wrote. I sold it for $800 after they beat the Saints before they played the Packers. Now, why would I do that? Well, to be honest, I wasn't fully anticipating Tampa Bay to beat Green Bay. So, knowing that card had been $400 just 2 months ago, yeah, I'll take the $800. And I sold it to a local guy that I know, and you know, I'm happy for him. It went up. So Super Bowl happens, and that card after the Super Bowl shot up to $2,000, $2,200, $2,400 in that range. And some people told me that they knew that I sold it, you were stupid for selling it. No, I wasn't, because I already got significantly more than what I paid for it, and the value was already higher than I anticipated it to be. Well, 1 month later, that card was back down to about $1,300. And now, potentially, it's probably closer to what I sold it for back then. Patrick Mahomes had the same thing happen, especially when he lost the Super Bowl. So, football didn't dive for everybody else. It just went back down to earth for the big ones that shot up from the Super Bowl. I'm sure Tyreek Hill's value went up. I'm sure Travis Kelce's value went up. I'm sure Antonio Brown, Gronk, all those guys' value went up. And then it came back, crashing back to earth. Now, Antonio Brown's value may not have come down as much because Antonio Brown finally got a ring. Antonio Brown comes back to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers for this year. And so I'm sure his value is still probably pretty good. But football this past year did not go off down in the offseason like we're used to seeing. Basketball does, year in and year out. The only time it didn't was between the bubble and the start of last season. And I think part of that had to do with we as a society, we'll call it a society of collectors and people who invest, were so yearning for sports that the hype machine stayed on. Football kind of had that happen, aside from the fact that they played an entire season. They didn't shorten the season. And we were expecting full stadiums for this year. Basketball was a little bit different story. A season cut short, a bubble to end the season and do the playoffs with no attendance by outsiders. And so I think people held up the offseason. Kobe White was a perfect example. Kobe White's Prism base rookie card in a PSA 10, well, actually, let's talk raw, was $20 when the bubble started. And the Bulls weren't in the playoffs. So the Bulls didn't play in the bubble. Over the course of the bubble, Kobe White's Prism rookie went up to $30. During the offseason, went up to $40, up to $50. And then the season started, and Kobe White did what Kobe White did this last season. I don't want to talk about it. And his value plummeted throughout the season. But guys like Kobe White, who had a lot of hype on them coming in, Zion, Ja Morant, a lot of those guys that everybody was anticipating to have great sophomore seasons, and Zion and Ja had very good sophomore seasons. Guys like Kobe White did not. Tyler Hero did not. Kendrick Nunn didn't until the end of last season. So there was a lot of hype that got put on in last year's offseason that's not there this year. That's not there this year. People aren't sitting here going, God, yeah, Zion is underpriced right now. He's going to, we need to pump some money into this. People aren't doing that. Ja Morant's value is down right now. I saw cards that literally, even during the playoffs, that he wasn't in, selling for $1,000 that are now down to $700, $600. And I'm like, Ja Morant is going to have a good season. And they're going to be a fringe playoff team. I don't believe that they're going to win their conference. I don't believe that even if they make the playoffs, that they're going to make a deep playoff run. But Ja Morant is damn good. Trae Young's value is down right now. Luka's value is down right now. Luka Doncic, one of the best players in the NBA today. His value is down. So, basketball season comes up in a month. Here comes values. It's going to happen over the next month. Now it's really going to take off once play actually starts. Luka puts up that first triple-double. Giannis puts up that first 40-point game. LeBron, KD, Steph Curry gets on the court and drains a half quarter. Curry puts up 35 points, 10 of which being three-pointers. Yeah, values are going to skyrocket again. We're going to see a lot of that. A lot of that's going to come up. So the whole point behind this, Obsidian Basketball breaks tomorrow. 2 PYT breaks, and these are affordable breaks. They start at $9. Okay, keep that in mind. $9 to get into a break. Starting. PYT. I don't think any team left is over 45. I could be wrong. But I'm pretty sure I'm right. Maybe. But anyway, point being, affordable breaks. 2 PYT breaks for tomorrow night. And then I had to add a football break. I couldn't have a week during the football season go without a football break. And I have TriStar full-size helmets coming tomorrow with Obsidian Basketball. And I've never done a break with TriStar full-size autographed helmets. I've never done a break with full-size autographed helmets, period. Not just TriStar, period. So, I needed something to pair with it. So, picked up the phone, called a buddy that owns a card shop. You guys may have heard of him, Collector's Corner Northwest. Yo, I need a football product. Hook me up, dog. Sent me some pictures. Nah. Ooh. Donruss football. What if we downtown or night move chase tomorrow night and we go random team, a 1 hobby box of Donruss football and a TriStar full-size autographed helmet. Random team. I like the sound of that. I'm going to have to take my camera way back on my table. Way back. Actually, you know what I'll probably do is I'll lift it up. I'll bring it up to about here, point down. I'll do that. We'll go old school, because that used to be one of my old views that I used to do, was up high, down. We're going to do that, because we're going to need room. Those full-size helmets are good size. You know, that fit over a grown man's head. So, random team, Donruss football, TriStar full-size helmet. That goes off tomorrow night, so make sure you get your spots. I want to say that one's like $35. $38. Sorry, my bad. $38. And I see the Boston Celtics just came off the board. Thank you, Josh. Josh is getting his spots in Obsidian basketball. So, that's our break lineup for tomorrow night. Now, upcoming product, I'm going to go over a little bit real quick. One that's coming out tomorrow as well. Now, I didn't set up a break of this because I don't know. I'm indifferent about this year's basketball draft class, but it's also a collegiate product, and I'm leery about stuff like this. Panini Chronicles Draft Picks Basketball comes out tomorrow. And honestly, I haven't even looked up what a price is on it. Let's do that right now live. You guys are going to see my reaction to this, okay? This is live. I have not looked up what product cost for this is. So let's see. 2021-22 Chronicles Basketball. Let's take a look at what a hobby box costs. I have not looked over at this other screen yet. Okay? I have not looked over at this other screen yet. Here we go. $4.50 a box. That's from Midwest Cards. Now, I don't know if that's the same Midwest that does the box breaks, but Midwest Cards pops up a lot on Google when I search. Giant Sports Cards has them for $3.70 a box. Hit Kings Sports Cards at $4.20 a box. And these all say hobby. It doesn't say H2. Steel City at $5.50 a box. $5.50. That can't be right. $5.50 a box for Chronicles basketball draft picks. That cannot be right. What is in, like, what's the configuration for Chronicles for this? Let's take a look. All right. Again, this is all, you guys are catching my initial sticker shock reaction to this. What's up, Taylor? Okay, so this is a 24 cards per pack, 2 packs per box. $24 cards per pack, 2 packs per box. 2 autographs, 2 memorabilia cards, and 8 Opti-Chrome cards. I don't know how I feel about that. I don't know how I feel about that. Chronicles Draft Picks Basketball at a 24 card per pack. 2 packs, 2 autographs, 2 memorabilia, 8 Opti-Chrome cards. And people want to charge $5.50 or more. Okay. That comes out tomorrow. Now, I could be 100% off. I could be like, I might see this and be like, I got to get my hands on this. I might go around tomorrow and try to grab a box and rip one live just to see. I might. I don't know. I do like doing my Sports Stuff Hub first looks at product. We'll see. I might do it. I might be stupid enough to pay $500 a box. I don't know what it's going to be priced locally here. Okay, so some other products we have coming out soon. Optic Baseball got pushed back a couple weeks. I think it's now first week of next month. So that's going to be a little bit of a pushback. We also have Leaf full-size autograph helmets that are supposed to be coming out any day as well. That has also been pushed back. They were originally scheduled for the 24th. Leaf has pushed back most of their products over the last few weeks. Month, 2 month, 3, 4, 6 months. Pushed back product. So I can expect full-size helmets to go probably end of October. Leaf Pro Set Metal Football is supposed to come out on 10/1, but again, with Leaf pushing stuff back, they may push these back as well. I can't keep up with the Leaf products because I don't know what's going on. It seems like every time I see a release coming up. There's a scheduled date, and then I see 800 pictures surface on social media of the same exact product, what I thought was the same exact product, and it might not be the same exact product because Leaf likes to put Leaf Pro Set Metal, Leaf Metal, Leaf Valiant, I think, Leaf Pearl, Leaf blah, 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 Leaf blah. And I can't keep up with the products. I can't keep up with what's what. And they don't do a very good job of labeling the boxes to differentiate between them all. So Leaf Pro Set Metal Football. I'm going to say it again. Leaf Pro Set Metal Football coming out on 10/1. Also a 10/1 release date is Bowman Sterling Baseball, scheduled for a 10/1 release date. I don't believe that this or the next one will actually stay with that because Topps doesn't like to release products on the same day. They are also releasing Topps Gold Label Baseball on the same day of 10/1, so either Sterling or Gold Label will get pushed back. And then we have going into Wednesday of next week, Panini Origins Football. Now, we're going to have a little discussion because that just came up. Panini Origins Football. Origins is usually one of my favorite products to rip early season. It is. I love Origins. I love the card design. I love the thicker stock. I love the fact that people don't rush out to grade them because they're thicker stock and chipped corners, chipped edges, that kind of stuff. And they really don't carry their value that long. They really don't. Which is kind of sad considering how nice looking the cards are. I really like Origins Football. I like the jumbo RPAs. I like the on-card base autos. I like the variation autos. I like the insert autos. I just like Origins. So, you guys are hearing it here first. The September loyalty rewards break will be Origins Football. I have not decided what the configuration is going to be yet because I literally actually just saw an email pop through. The only reason why I could actually announce this was because an email came through that said I got a couple boxes from not one of my wholesalers, unfortunately. But I still got a pretty good price on it. I just got to figure out how we're going to work it and what we're going to do for it. But Origins Football will be the September loyalty rewards break. Let's go! Origins Football. And I love Origins, and I love you all. So I'm going to pair Origins Football for everybody to qualify and get into Origins Football. Because, hell yeah, Origins Football. Origins. We're gonna rip some Origins Football. And we are going to pull some frickin' monsters. So that's Hobby Talk for the night. Origins Football announced as the loyalty rewards break. Ends Hobby Talk for the night. That's like a walk-off grand slam. That's a walk-off grand slam right there. Okay. I'm an idiot sometimes. Okay, let's get over to some sports talk. I was supposed to have, well, I can't say I was supposed to have. I was trying to have Dean on tonight. Dean on Sports, and we were going to talk a little baseball because we are in the thick of a playoff hunt for the Seattle Mariners. And Dean, my Mariners correspondent, who has been AWOL for months, was going to come in and talk some Mariners tonight, but he had some other conflicting plans, so he could not make it tonight. Now, I'm going to go shut my door real quick before we get into sports talk because it's going to get loud out there, so I want to make sure that the door is shut, isolating that. Hang on one second. Mariners talk to start with. Now, this is not going to be real in-depth. But the Mariners are on a playoff push. The likes the world has never seen before. A team that was not expected to win 90 games. A team that was not expected to win 60 games is on the verge of a 90-game season. Tonight, going into tonight's game. Now, I have not looked at what scores happened today. But going into tonight's game, the Mariners were 1.5 games back of the wild card chase, behind the Boston Red Sox and the New York Yankees. And I'm looking right now, and I'm going to mute this because otherwise you guys are going to get a whole lot of this in your ear. The Yankees right now are up on the Blue Jays. The Blue Jays are also sitting between the Mariners and playoffs. The Yankees are up 6-2. That does not bode well for the Mariners. We needed the Yankees to lose. Which is fine, though, because if the Blue Jays lose, we pass them here soon as well. The Red Sox are playing the Red Sox lost to the Orioles. Red Sox lost. This, guys, instant react. I have not seen this today. This is live reaction from me. I have not looked at any scores today. I have had so much other crap going on today. Oh my God. Okay, Red Sox lost to the Orioles. Did not see that coming. I expected a sweep. Holy shnikes. That puts Seattle back 1 game. If the Mariners can win tonight, that puts them a half game out. If Toronto loses to the Yankees, which it looks like they're going to, they're down 6-2 in the 7th. The Mariners win tonight, which puts Toronto down. The Mariners then pass Toronto, and they're a half game out. Oh, my God. So then the Boston Red Sox still continue to play in Baltimore for the next 2 nights. And if the Baltimore Orioles can upset one more game and the Mariners can win, that puts the Mariners in the playoffs temporarily. Holy crap. That's insanity. Now, I did not expect that to happen in baseball. I did not expect that to happen. So the Mariners are playing Oakland tonight. Game starts at 7:05, I believe, or 7:30 maybe. Boston plays tomorrow. Yankees are at Toronto right now. Holy crap. This could happen. We could see the Mariners in the playoffs for the first time since 2001. The Mariners are on the verge of having their first 90-win season since 2003. This is insane. Oh, my God. Mariners, one of the most fun teams to watch in baseball right now. So let's root for the Mariners. All right. So we have, looks like, anybody else that's playing right now at AL playoff implications? Doesn't look like it. I mean, really, there's nobody else that even... I mean, Mariners... I mean, Oakland and Seattle, yeah. They're right there. They're the next 2 spots for outside of Toronto. So it's Boston, Toronto, New York, us, and Oakland for the AL. That's it. That's all that really matters at this point. I mean, and there's potential that the Mariners could catch Houston. But let's be real here. Houston's already at 91 wins. The Mariners would have to win out to beat Houston. Now, Houston's on a 4-game losing streak. So it could happen. It could happen. Oh, man, this is insane. I love it. I love it. Playoff baseball. Imagine meaningful games in October. We're a couple days away from October. Yeah, let's get it. Let's get it. Here we go, Mariners. All right. So that's all we're going to do for baseball talk tonight. I had to hype up the Mariners a little bit. Over to football. We had an interesting week 3. And I mentioned it. I teased it to open the show. We have some unexpected teams sitting at 1-2 and even 0-3. To start with, I'm going to recap. I'm going to get this out of the way. I'm going to recap week 3 real quick in case you guys missed any games or have not looked online or have lived under a rock for the last 3 days. Thursday night football was Carolina over Houston 24-9. Carolina being one of the surprising 3-0 teams in the NFL right now. Houston's been a bit of a mess, and with Deshaun Watson issues, yeah, I get it. But Tyrod Taylor was giving them hope, and now that Tyrod Taylor's going to be missing a couple weeks, they rely on rookie Davis Mills, who, for lack of a better phrase, looked lost playing Carolina. Matt Rule did a very good job at confusing the rookie and keeping him off balance all game. Now, yeah, he had some nice throws and they had a pretty good drive, but outside of that, 90% of that game, the Houston Texans offense just wasn't looking good. So not a whole lot to talk about that one other than Carolina looks really good so far. We'll see how that continues to play out as they play interdivisional, in their division games, and how they play against some of the top teams in the NFL. Moving over to Sunday games, Tennessee over Indianapolis, 25-16. Derrick Henry had not quite a monster game, but he had a pretty good game. I was not expecting Indy to look so bad. And Carson Wentz, or as Pat McAfee has so affectionately dubbed him, 2 sprains, because he sprained both of his ankles in the loss to Seattle. No, not Seattle. No, that was God, who did Indy lose to in week 2? But anyway, sprained both of his ankles and just wasn't sure if he was going to play. And anyway, Tennessee kind of just steamrolled him. Indy didn't really look like they were in that game for much of it anyways. David Miller just said they didn't let Davis Mills open up until later. He's going to be solid. And he's referring to the Carolina-Houston game, which I would agree. They were very conservative with him because that was really his first legitimate game action, his first start. And I would agree with that. I'm not going to get too deep into that because it's Houston. To be quite frankly, they're a bit of a train wreck anyways. And I don't expect Davis Mills to see a lot of success in Houston unless he knows how to play a train wreck offense. So we'll call it that. Atlanta over the Giants. Now, this one surprised me. I had the Giants winning this game. And I was a little shocked seeing Atlanta take down the Giants. Atlanta looked very bad in their first 2 weeks. So Atlanta gets a win on the board. Giants remain 0-3. And do we see the Giants make a fight and make a run at potentially being the NFC least champion? I don't know. We'll see. I don't see a lot of upside with the Giants this season. I think they're going to be just a bad team. They really need to get rid of Jason Garrett, and I think their offensive play calling could be a lot better. Moving on, Chargers in a surprise win take down their divisional rival in Kansas City. And this was I didn't mean in Kansas City. I meant their divisional rival in Kansas City. This was a surprise. I expected Kansas City to walk them in this game, or at least come out firing and maintain a lead the entire game. That wasn't the case. KC only held a lead twice, and it wasn't for very long. Justin Herbert looked really damn good. Now, I have not gotten to watch the replay of this game yet, and shame on me. I was going to try to do that yesterday, but yesterday I ended up with a couple of longer conference calls and some meetings that I had to be in and getting some stuff done for the business. But I want to watch this game. And Kansas City drops to 1-2. Kansas City beat Cleveland to open the season, and now they've dropped 2 straight. This is not what I expected. So, here is one thing that I'm going to say right now. When people were talking last year, at the end of the season, that Justin Herbert was not going to be that good of a quarterback, and the reason was given that he has to play Patrick Mahomes, and Patrick Mahomes stands in his way. Justin Herbert doesn't play Patrick Mahomes. Justin Herbert plays the Kansas City defense. Patrick Mahomes does not stand in Justin Herbert's way, and Justin Herbert just showed us that he can beat the Kansas City Chiefs. And I said this before, and it honestly does not friggin' matter if the Chargers beat the Chiefs once or twice a season. The Chargers could go 15-2 with those 2 losses being to Kansas City and not see Kansas City in the playoffs. It could happen very easily. Justin Herbert could win a Super Bowl. Oh, Justin Herbert has to get past Patrick Mahomes in the playoffs. No, he doesn't. No, he does not. Kansas City could get lined up against somebody else in the playoffs and get eliminated, and Justin Herbert and the Chargers stroll right past, never seeing them. How do you think Pittsburgh won 2 Super Bowls? They didn't have to play the Patriots in the playoffs. They had to play Indy. Yeah, Peyton Manning. Ben Roethlisberger actually had a pretty good career matchup against Indy with Peyton Manning. He did not have a good career lineup against Tom Brady in New England. That was the Steelers' kryptonite. That was Ben Roethlisberger's kryptonite. They struggled with that. Ever since Ben Roethlisberger beat the New England Patriots in his rookie season, during the season, he struggled with them after that. Playoff time came around, rookie season, AFC Championship game. Everybody expected Pittsburgh at 15-1 to walk right through the playoffs, steamrolling people with a dominant defense and a game-managed offense led by Jerome Bettis, running the ball, and a passing game that averaged 17 passes per game. And then the Patriots knock them out, AFC Championship game. Not just knocked them out. We're talking like bam, bam, boom, uppercut, floored. It was a 15, 18-point game. 2004 AFC Championship game. Look it up. Same type of thing. Justin Herbert just proved Patrick Mahomes isn't going to stand in his way. Now, playoff time rolls around. Could Kansas City pull a Patriots and absolutely steamroll the Chargers in the playoffs? Sure. But the downside to that theory is that the Patriots and the Steelers, what they were to each other, is not what the Chargers and Chiefs are to each other. The Patriots were the thorn in the Steelers' side in the conference, not in the division. Chiefs could come out and lay an egg against them one more time in the regular season. Chargers could end up with a first-round bye. Chargers could end up division champs because at least now the Chiefs hold the first tiebreaker over them. Excuse me, the Chargers hold the first tiebreaker over the Chiefs. So, to everybody that said Justin Herbert can't get past Patrick Mahomes, Ha, ha. Moving on. Cincy takes down Pittsburgh 24-10 in Pittsburgh, dropping Pittsburgh to 1-2. And we're going to get into that game here in a little bit. We're going to actually dive into that game, and I've got some venting to get off my chest. Cleveland over Chicago 26-6. Now I'm going to talk a little bit about this game. We're going to stop right here. Matt Nagy, and I know this has been said time and time again, and Dan Orlovsky and Rex Ryan called him out on ESPN. Matt Nagy needs to go. Matt Nagy is the problem. Matt Nagy is destroying his team. And somebody pointed this out on social media the other day. The Chicago Bears are not a football franchise. The Chicago Bears are a business. The Chicago Bears. Let me see if I can find it real quick. I know I saved it. And this was the most scary yet real and eye-opening thing I've read about a football team in a long time. And give me 1 second. I will find this. I know it's not that far. I know I retweeted it at least. Here we go. This woman, Anna Colwell, at Real Anna Colwell, says, Bears fans, when you're utterly confused, remember this. And this is what she writes. The Bears are not a football team. They are a trust, headed by a 97-year-old woman who inherited this trust. The purpose of this trust is to earn income to be distributed annually to the beneficiaries of the trust and appreciate in value, not win football games. This is why you have Ted Phillips, an accountant, as the president, and two sons, Michael McCaskey and George McCaskey, were given management positions. There are no football people running this trust, and there hasn't been since George Halas died in 1983. Sadly, I don't see anything changing until this business structure changes. That is the Chicago Bears. That is sad. And Matt Nagy embodies that. And I know when Matt Nagy was up for head coaching positions, Matt Nagy came from the Anthony Reid tree in Kansas City. This is why I said be very leery of hiring offensive coordinators under Andy Reid. Because this has been talked about before, that Andy Reid controls that offense. The offensive coordinator is more of a position coach than anything. They're not actually running the offense. Eric Bieniemy does not run that offense. He joked about it in an interview when somebody asked what he does under Andy Reid. He joked saying, well, I mean, Andy Reid kind of runs the show. We're just there. Matt Nagy is the perfect example of that. Matt Nagy took a quarterback with a massive skill set in Justin Fields and did not have him ready to play a game. Did not. Justin Tucker kicked a 66-yard game-winning field goal. Hell, Mason Crosby kicked a 50-yard game-winning field goal that covered more ground than the Bears' offense had in an entire game. That's effed up. Matt Nagy took the Bears took Justin Fields, gave Matt Nagy a weapon, a very talented weapon that some said was the most athletic and most talented quarterback in the entire draft class. And he destroyed him in that game. Restricted him. Got him sacked over and over again. Myles Garrett had 4.5 sacks. Justin Fields was sacked, I believe, 8 times in the first half. And anybody wants to sit here and argue and tell me that Matt Nagy's a good head coach? Why? Because he took a loaded Bears team with a great talented defense to the playoffs? That makes Matt Nagy a good coach? Give me a break. Put some offensive talent on his team, and what does he do? He runs them into the ground. And I will tell you this, Mitch Trubisky's not that bad of a quarterback. I will argue that to a fault. I'm not a Mitch Trubisky fan. I'm not a Mitch Trubisky supporter. I want to be. He's not that bad of a quarterback. I hope Mitch Trubisky gets another shot. I really hope he does. And not in a journeyman type of way like Ryan Fitzpatrick. I hope that under Josh Allen and the offensive coordinator for the Bills and the head coach, that Mitch Trubisky can realize that he was not the problem. That was a big, toxic relationship in Chicago, led by Pace and Nagy. And they both need to be gone. At least Nagy. And please, for the love of Christ, don't hire Eric Bieniemy to follow in Nagy's footsteps. Please don't, Chicago Bears. Don't. Just don't. Get an offensive coordinator that actually does something. You know what would be a good offensive coordinator to get? Look at Dallas. Look at Dallas. This was talked about the other night. When, now I all of a sudden lost his name. The head coach for Dallas. When he was hired, he didn't implement his new offense into that team. He let Kellen Moore keep his offense, and instead he learned Kellen Moore's offense. Because he knew he wanted Dak to be comfortable. Kellen Moore runs a good offense. So, maybe he should come up to Chicago. Because Justin Fields is more similar to Dak Prescott than to Tom Brady. So, bring Kellen Moore up. Please do not, I repeat, do not go after Eric Bieniemy. And that just comes from being under Andy Reid as an offensive coordinator. Please don't. David Miller says Vic Fangio is showing he was the better coach on the Bears team. That's not a falsehood. That's not a falsehood, David. It's not. Either way, Matt Nagy needs to go. So, all right. Moving on from the Chicago-Cleveland catastrophe, the worst Bears game that I think I've ever watched. Baltimore, as I mentioned, wins on a last-second field goal, a record-setting long field goal of 66 yards. Congratulations, Justin Tucker. 66-yard field goal, taking down Detroit. Now, I expected this game to be a bit more of a blowout. Now, maybe it's because Baltimore has had 18 running backs that they have tried to put on their team, that they can't get anybody to stay healthy. But I expected Baltimore to throttle Detroit, and I will say MCDC's got something brewing over there that, you know, they may be winless, but he's holding his team in games at least in this one against Baltimore. A game that I expected to be a little bit closer was New Orleans, New England, where New Orleans takes down New England 28-13. Jameis Winston came out looking kind of like Jameis Winston from week 1 and not Jameis Winston from week 2. So, Jameis looking solid. New Orleans did not look good. Mac Jones threw an interception. Arizona over Jacksonville, 31-19. The only reason Jacksonville was in this game at all was because for some reason, for some bizarre reason, Arizona decided to kick a field goal from the 50-yard line. For some reason. 68, I think, is what the attempt was. 68-yard field goal, which then fell short because Arizona doesn't have a kicker that can kick a 68 freaking yard field goal. And the return man for the Jacksonville Jaguars ran it back 109 yards right down their throat. Dumb. Cliff Kingsbury, I'm not sure what you were thinking there. Probably not what you should have done. Anyway, Arizona still throttled them, 31-19. Buffalo laid a beat down on the Washington football team, 43-21. Buffalo's defense is starting to look more reminiscent of the 2019 Bills defense, meaning that maybe 2020 was an anomaly. But the Bills this year's defense looking much better. Denver lays a beat down for another week after making the Jaguars issue a public apology to their fans from Denver destroying them. Denver then lays a shutout on the Jets, 26-0. I'm waiting now for the Jets to issue an apology as well, because how bad Denver beat them. We're talking about Teddy Two Gloves leading this Denver offense. Teddy Bridgewater. That Minnesota gave up on. That New Orleans gave up on. That Carolina gave up on. And now is 3-0 in the AFC West. The taste of victory. Now, I've never said that I'm a big Teddy Bridgewater fan. When he got hurt in Minnesota, sympathies, heartfelt. He's a good kid, really good kid. And I wanted nothing but the best for him. And I was hoping he was going to come back, and I was hoping he was going to get another shot. And he kind of did in New Orleans. And then they let him go because Drew Brees was coming back for another year. And then he got a shot in Carolina on a banged up team, on a Christian McCaffrey-less team. And they had a tough schedule last year. And so Teddy Bridgewater doesn't have it, is what they said. He's not what we were looking for. And he may have found a home in Denver. I'm happy for him. I'm really happy for him. He's airing it out. He's throwing accurate. He's mobile. He's not, running for 100+ yards a game, but he's moving around. It's good to see. So Denver, 3-0. Las Vegas takes down Miami in overtime, 31-28. Miami made a game of this, even without Tua. The Jacoby Brissett era in Miami has officially started because Tua is going to miss at least 3 more weeks. They're saying potentially up to 5 or 6 with his bruised ribs. Fractured ribs. Yeah. Miami made a game of this, got it, sent it to overtime, and then Vegas ends up winning it on a field goal. Now, Derek Carr at times looked superhuman in this game, and then at other times looked human in this game. Derek Carr's having a very good season. He is. He's on pace. I think somebody said he's on pace for like 6,100 passing yards. Unreal. Absolutely unreal. I don't believe he's going to maintain that, but I could see 5,000. Absolutely, I could see 5,000. Minnesota taking down Seattle in Minnesota, 30-17. I wanted to get a little bit more into this game because we have a large Seattle Seahawk following here, and it wasn't to rub anything in anybody's face, but I wanted to break it down a little bit. And I've heard a lot of people. I didn't really get to watch this game on the big screen. I had to watch this on my phone because I don't get local broadcasts on. And I was at the card show this weekend, and my Sunday ticket doesn't give me local broadcast. So I had to watch it on my phone, so I couldn't really see a lot of what was going on. But Yeah, it did not look good. It did not look good from the little bit that I got to see. I do plan on breaking it down later this week, probably, and I'll get into that one. Rams over Tampa Bay. And this was the one where Mark Magani and I last week, we had differing opinions. Mark thought Tampa was going to come into L.A., and they were going to get the boost, the super boost from Mark Magani's presence in the stadium. I have not talked to Mark since he made the pick of Tampa over the Rams. I went with the Rams, and the score was a 10-point game, but it really wasn't that close. The Rams just look good. Are the Rams potentially the best team in the NFC? Undefeated Rams take down the defending Super Bowl champions, who are rostering essentially their entire starting roster from the Super Bowl, minus a couple of injuries. And the Rams looked really damn good. Really damn good. Tom Brady's throwing a lot of touchdowns, and the receivers are making plays, and the running backs are running the ball, and their defense is really good. Rams might be the best team in the NFL. Green Bay over San Fran. Sunday night football. 30-28. It was a close game. Now, Jimmy Garoppolo leads the Niners down for the go-ahead score, leaving 37 seconds left on the clock. And all Aaron Rodgers had to do was get them in field goal range. You don't do that with Aaron Rodgers. Now, if you go up by a touchdown, sure. But by going up literally 1 point, after kickoff, Rodgers essentially needs to get 35 yards. That's all he's got to get, 35 to 40 yards. He did that in 2 plays. Come on, 37 seconds with no timeouts for Aaron Rodgers is nothing. That's like leaving it for Tom Brady or Peyton Manning. They're just going to pick you apart underneath. You can't leave 37 seconds on the clock for a quarterback like Aaron Rodgers. You can't do it. In a 1-point game. It's different if it's a 6-point game because he's got to score a touchdown. He's got to go the length of the field. Okay? Great. That's fine. Going up 1 point, you can't do that. You have to drain that clock. You have to. I get it. They were nervous about putting it in the end zone and running that clock down too low and not having time to score. I get it. But you screwed up. Kyle Shanahan, poor clock management. Jimmy Garoppolo, poor clock management. You got to wait. You've got to bleed that down. You had enough talent on that field to walk them right down. You've got to punch that in with maybe 5 seconds left. Got to. Anyway, the rest of the game. I've been having conversations with people on social media about this with Jimmy Garoppolo. Is Jimmy Garoppolo frustrating to 49ers fans? Or is he what's going to take them to the playoffs this year? He's probably going to take them to the playoffs this year unless they trade him and go with Trey Lance, which because they're 2-1. I don't know. I didn't expect them to go 2-1 to open the season. I expected them to be 1-2 to open the season, and I figured Jimmy Garoppolo was going to struggle maybe a little bit more. But the defense has definitely helped this team. Jimmy Garoppolo has looked inaccurate, unstable. He does not look confident. He is sailing passes. He is underthrowing his receivers. He's wobble ducking his passes. He does not look efficient. And if that continues, you're going to have 49ers fans literally at the gate with pitchforks and torches calling for Trey Lance and wanting Jimmy Garoppolo's head. If they lose another game, another close game, a big conference game like Green Bay, because of Jimmy Garoppolo's inability to get the ball to his receivers, this is going to go bad. Now, I will say this. Jimmy Garoppolo's interception that he threw on the Kittle, the long pass to Kittle, that Jair Alexander jumped, I believe it was Jair Alexander, was not on Jimmy Garoppolo. That was not on George Kittle. That was a perfectly thrown ball. That was a perfectly run route. That was an exceptionally extreme level of athletic play and speed by Jair Alexander. He literally put the ball where no one else was going to get it. And then Jair Alexander jumped in front of it. That was such an incredible play. My jaw was on the floor. I could not believe that. I thought that was going for 6 for Kittle. But Alexander just fantastic. That was fantastic. So I don't put that one on Kittle. Or excuse me, on Jimmy G. So talk all the crap you want about Jimmy G for the rest of the game. That one play, his best throw of the night was an interception. How many quarterbacks can you say that about? Their best throw of the night was intercepted? And it wasn't even on his receiver? It literally was just that majestic of a play by the defender. That's how good it was. So, Trey Lance got to see the field, ran in a touchdown. Shows you the dual threat capability of Trey Lance. He's got a passing touchdown and a rushing touchdown in his rookie season. No starts. No starts. And he may not get a start. It is what it is. I'm okay with it. I'd be okay with Jimmy Garoppolo finishing the season and Trey Lance taking over next year. An Alex Smith, Patrick Mahomes type of scenario. Not saying that Trey Lance is going to be the next Patrick Mahomes, but but Trey Lance might be the next Patrick Mahomes. Just potential. Dave says, everyone says that, but you score when you can score. Yes and no. Yes and no. When you're moving the ball as well as San Francisco was on that drive, you stick to the game plan that was moving the ball. They could have run the ball a couple more times and bled out some clock. They could have. And that's the problem, is that when you are playing, this gets talked about all the time. When you're playing a marquee quarterback, a good quarterback, a great quarterback, like a Tom Brady, like a Peyton Manning, like a Aaron Rodgers, who lead game-winning drives. And I would even probably throw Russell Wilson in that category. And we'll say 2015 to 2018 Russell Wilson, where they were throwing the ball, where Doug Baldwin was making just insane clutch catches, and Tyler Lockett was coming into his own. We'll call that Russell Wilson era, or a Drew Brees. With some of those guys, when you are facing that quarterback and their offense is that good at moving the ball, you cannot leave them that amount of time for a field goal. It's a whole different thing if it's a touchdown. As I said that before, it's a whole different thing if it's a touchdown. But when it's a 3-point game or less, and in this case it was a 1-point game, field goal loses them the game. So you cannot allow them that much time. 37 seconds. They can easily gain 35 to 40 yards. That's all they needed. So puts them in field goal range. Game over. That's, again, just outsider looking in. God, sidetracked big time. And then last night's game, the absolute clusterfuck in Philly. In Dallas. Dallas over Philly 41-21. Philly just looked bad for most of the game. Jalen Hurts is athletic. Jalen Hurts is an exceptional quarterback, and he will be just fine. But Dallas did a really good job. Micah Parsons is a stud. That's all I need to say. That Dallas defense is completely different with Micah Parsons, especially lined up on the edge. It's a completely different defense. So, Dallas throttled Philadelphia. One other thing that I want to talk about before I move into my recap of the Pittsburgh-Cincy game and my issues that I had with the game. This year's rookie quarterback class. Everybody is talking about the 5 rookie quarterbacks that have started an NFL game so far, and that they have one win between them, and that one win was Mac Jones, rookie, over Zach Wilson, rookie, and how bad this class has now turned out to be. And I don't see it that way. I don't see it as a bad class. I see it as it's what you expect from first-round picks. It's what you expect from teams that got the top picks. Because most of the time, the reason a top quarterback goes to a team in the top of a draft is because that team is one of the worst teams in the NFL. Now, you sometimes get the Indianapolis Colts, who had Peyton Manning, and then he gets hurt, he's out for the season, has to have neck surgery, and they suck for luck. And they get Andrew Luck, and immediately Andrew Luck makes them a playoff contender. That's a whole different scenario. Or when you have a team like the LA Rams, who traded up to draft Jared Goff. And the Rams had a solid team built around him already. They trade up. Philadelphia, Carson Wentz, move up, get your quarterback. I get it. San Francisco, moving up for Trey Lance. When Trey Lance takes over, Trey Lance has the tools. Trey Lance has the supporting cast. It's different. So, talking about this year's draft class being winless, you have a very bad Jaguars team that they have not built around him yet. They have no offensive line to protect him. Are there some weapons there? Sure. But if you can't protect your quarterback, you're going to lose games. Okay? Zach Wilson, same thing. Now, they have an offensive line, but they don't have the weapons around them. They don't have a running back. They don't have good receivers. They don't have a good defense. So teams are just walking all over them. So that's a little bit different. They're kind of, those two teams are kind of bipolar, or not bipolar. They're complete opposites. Then obviously you have the poorly run Chicago Bears. And then you have the anomaly of the Patriots, who are led by one of the dubbed greatest coaches of all time, that I think now is kind of getting exposed as more, it was Tom Brady. And yeah, they don't have any weapons. How many people can actually sit and name more than one New England receiver? And you can't say N'Keal Harry because he's out right now, isn't he? I'm pretty sure. I think Christian Fulton, I think, is one guy on the list. I think. But New England has nothing right now. They have a solid defense that could be better. They don't have anything on their offense right now. So that's a problem. Maybe it wasn't Cam Newton last year. Maybe it was just the team he was playing with. Aguilar, that's right. See, that's how bad it is. I forgot that Aguilar is a Patriot. I haven't heard his name. I don't think I've heard his name this season yet. And Myers, meh. That's not exactly a household name. So that's my point. They don't have the team built around Mac Jones right now. And that was one of the problems that they had when Tom Brady was there. That, you know, a lot of people said Tom Brady took them places with no-namers. Deion Branch wasn't Deion Branch outside of Tampa or outside of New England. You know, yeah, he got Randy Moss for, what, a season and a half or whatever it was. Fantastic. Yeah, he had Gronk. Aaron Hernandez before but he wasn't exactly sitting there with, until he got Edelman, and Edelman wasn't. Edelman was a Wes Welker-ish. He wasn't an Antonio Brown. He wasn't a Mike Evans. So it's yeah. Right. That's exactly. Myers is a rookie. So there you go. And he wasn't a highly coveted rookie. With Jacoby Myers, is that what his name is? But that's the thing. Myers, even if he's second year though, we're talking about a young receiver. We're not talking about a household name. We're not talking about a first round pick. So my whole point being that there's no team built around Mac Jones right now. So what I was getting at with this whole thing, I kind of got off track. What I was getting at is when you compare these rookie quarterbacks losing games like this, I want you to take this into account. In 2020, Joe Burrow and Justin Herbert were the big name quarterbacks we all know. Joe Burrow's first win didn't come until week 4. So he went 0-3 to start his career. Justin Herbert came in and started week 2. Justin Herbert didn't get his first win until week 6, which was his 5th game. In 2019, Kyler Murray MVP candidate, Rookie of the Year. Kyler Murray didn't get his first win until week 5. In 2014, Derek Carr didn't get his first win until week 12. That was his 11th game because of the bye week. Derek Carr was 0-10 to start his rookie year. 0-10. In 1998, the great Peyton Manning didn't see his first victory until week 5. And in 2004, Eli Manning, brother to Peyton, didn't get his first victory until the final week of the regular season, week 17, which was his 7th game. So keep that in mind. They don't have to be winning every game. They don't have to be Ben Roethlisberger and going 15-1 in their rookie season, which Ben Roethlisberger technically wasn't 15-1. He was technically 14-0 in his rookie year. They don't have to be 14-0, 15-0, 16-0. They don't have to be. We're talking about 2 of the best rookies out of last year's draft class. The 2 best rookie quarterbacks out of last year's draft class lost a combined 8 games. 7 games before they got a victory. So there you go. Just some food for thought. All right, David Miller says it's third year for Myers. Thank you for clearing that up. Had 350 yards with Brady and then over 700 yards last year. Yeah, that sounds right because I believe he was their leading receiver last year, if I remember correctly. Because there wasn't anybody that really stood out last year. All right. It's time to break down the Steelers game. This is going to be the last thing we do tonight. Because again, and I apologize, I don't have any boxes to break tonight because my order got canceled of some retail product that I had ordered. So I don't have anything to rip tonight. Breaking down. Cincy, Pittsburgh. Now, this game upset me. I was watching this game very closely while I was at the Twin Oaks Card Show in Everett. This game literally was a wreck from the start. With Cincy going up 14-7 at halftime already, and outside of one touchdown drive, Pittsburgh could not move the ball. Check this out. I'm going to read this off to you, and then I'll tell you what it is. 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and an interception, 8 plays for 11 yards, ending in a punt, 15 play, 96-yard drive for touchdown, 3 and out. Now, if you guessed that was the Cincinnati Bengals' first half performance, you'd be wrong. If you guessed that was the New York Jets' first half performance, you'd be wrong. If you guessed that was the Jacksonville Jaguars' first half performance, you'd be wrong. That was the Pittsburgh Steelers' first half performance against Cincinnati, a division rival. 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and an interception, 8 plays for 11 yards ending in a punt, 15 play, 96-yard touchdown drive, 3 and out. Embarrassing. Now, this is the penalties from an undisciplined offense. This is just offensive penalties, by the way. First half. Illegal formation, 5-yard loss on the first drive. Holding, 10-yard loss, second drive. Offensive pass interference, 6-yard loss, second drive. False start, 5-yard loss, third drive. Holding, 10-yard loss, fifth drive. Undisciplined. Illegal formation, offensive line. Holding, offensive line. Offensive pass interference, Chase Claypool. False start, offensive line. Holding, offensive line. 4 of 5 penalties, offensive line related. Now, I wish I could tell you got better in the second half. It didn't. First drive of the second half. 3 plays and an interception. Second drive. 7 plays, 37 yards, ending in a missed field goal. Third drive. 18 plays, 95 yards, ending in a field goal. Fourth drive. 12 plays, 73 yards, turnover on downs. And the last drive, 4 plays, 8 yards, turnover on downs. Penalties in the second half. False start, 3-yard loss on the field goal drive. OPI, 10-yard loss on the field goal drive. False start, 5-yard loss on the field goal drive. 3 penalties on their only points of the third half, or excuse me, of the second half. 3 penalties. They tried to do everything they could to not put points on the board. 8 penalties in total on the offense. Of those 3, false start and false start offensive line, OPI Chase Claypool. 8 penalties on the offense, 10 total on the day. Now, did that lose them the game? Nope. Set them back. Yep. But add in the constant pressure that Cincy got on Ben, and then 4 sacks added on top of that, Pittsburgh had 0 sacks. Yeah, sure. Go ahead and blame missing TJ Watt and Alex Highsmith all you want. Blame it. Go ahead. Make an excuse. Knock yourself out. Don't care. This is the exact reason why they brought in Melvin Ingram. This is the exact reason. To generate a pass rush just in case you didn't have those two. Melvin Ingram was supposed to be a guy that could replace Alex Highsmith and be just fine, or come in and spell TJ Watt and be just fine. He was completely absent most of the game. Disgusting. Pittsburgh was supposed to be a more balanced offense by drafting Najee Harris, but instead, against a divisional opponent, against a division rival, the Steelers couldn't muster more than 2 point yards per carry on 14 attempts from Harris. Now, this isn't on Harris. This is not on Harris, because there literally was no running lanes. And he had multiple runs called back. This is not on Harris. Harris is a stud. I said that since the draft. Harris is a stud. But he's not what the Steelers needed right now. The Steelers' offensive line is horrendous at best currently. Now, there's talks that they could get Zach Banner back in the next few weeks, and he would be a welcomed return at this point. But what they really need to do is insert a veteran presence into this very weak lineup. I know they're starting 2 rookies. I get it. Center, left tackle. Kendrick Green at center, Dan Moore, left tackle. But at this point, they really need to put in Joe Hagg or even BJ Finney into the lineup at this point, just for some veteran presence, because this is not going well. Joe Hagg at least has experience protecting Tom Brady and protecting Andrew Luck. It's embarrassing. This offensive line is embarrassing. Now, yes, again, rookies, they're learning. I get it. But that was not enough addressed in the offseason. And I said this before. Okay, yeah, sure. They took Najee Harris and Pat Freiermuth. But when you lose the offensive line that you lost over the last 2 seasons, you can't replace them with 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th rounders. Not that quick. Draft Kendrick Green. Go ahead. But have somebody in there starting that he can learn under. Draft Dan Moore. But have somebody in there that he can learn under. He should have been learning under Alejandro Villanueva. But instead, we put a rookie 5th rounder to protect Ben Roethlisberger. It's not working. It's just not working. They need an answer. And what they've done is not good enough. When Zach Banner comes back, here's the question then. Where do you put Zach Banner? You fill him in, plug him in where he's needed most? Well, crap, he can't play the entire offensive line. I mean, our center is having holding penalties and false start penalties. Our center. Now, could he turn out to be an all-pro? Sure. Sure he could be. Don't see it happening. Prove me wrong, though. I'd love to see it. Would love to. Can they figure it out? Yeah. We also don't have the offensive line coach like we did 5 years ago. They need to just throw money at Mike Munchak at this point. Now, I get it. He doesn't want to leave Denver. He wants to stay in Denver. He lives there. That's where he wants to be. Pay the man. Bring him back. That offensive line has struggled since he left. It's gone downhill every season. He's a difference maker. That's a coach that's a difference maker. He's not a head coach. He's not. But he is the best offensive line coach in football. Bar none. So, that was me getting the Steelers loss off my chest. Dave said Deontay being out hurt a lot. Yes and no. The Steelers have a plethora of wide receivers at their disposal that can all plug and play. Deontay is a possessional receiver. Juju is a possessional receiver. Deontay's a playmaker, though. Big difference. Deontay can handle a lot of the coverages that are thrown at him, whereas Juju needs somebody to take that pressure off him. Juju's like an A.J. Brown type of thing. He needs a true number one. Claypool can be that number one. The problem is that Claypool's youth, and he's still learning NFL techniques, hence why he was called twice for offensive pass interference in this game. I think Claypool, if he takes the next step, could be one of the most electric wide receivers in the NFL, and you pair him with Deontay, and you have Juju playing the slot, and you put Juju in almost a Wes Welker-ish type role, I think Juju would thrive in that role. Deontay in an Antonio Brown type of role, and Chase Claypool in a Mike Wallace type of role. And I think we have a dynamic setup right there. Now, one thing that I do believe that they really misfired on was the lack of usage of James Washington. And I will say that Ray McLeod even made a couple of good plays, and he impressed me after having some dropsies last year. But let's face it, the entire flippin' team had the dropsies last year. The Pittsburgh Steelers, I believe, led the NFL in drops last year. Deontay Johnson led the team in drops, having 9, 10, something like that. Unreal. So, Steelers need to figure it out. And I get it. Deontay missing hurts. But again, no excuses. No excuses. This receiving core is too deep to have excuses like that. So, will the Steelers win 6 games? I talked about this on break night. Brandon's bet with his boss. Steelers have to win 6 games. Well, they're 1-2. I think they'll still win 6. I think they'll still win 8. I don't believe they're going to have a losing season this year. But we'll see. There are some teams that make me nervous. There are some games coming up that make me nervous. Now, will the Steelers get shut out in divisional play? Possibly. Will they go 0-6 within the AFC North? It's possible. They're already 0-1 so far. So, we'll just have to wait and see. All right, guys, it's 8 o'clock. As I mentioned before, I don't have a box break for tonight because I missed, I got my order canceled, so I don't have any box breaks for tonight. So, I'm going to cut you guys out right now and join me tomorrow night for break night. We've got a hell of a lineup for tomorrow night, and it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm going to go get some dinner. I am starving. So I will be back next week, and hopefully I'll have a special guest on for next week to talk either football or baseball, because we're also going to see potentially Mariners in the playoffs for next week. So have a good night, everybody, and I will see you all tomorrow night right here on YouTube for break night. Stay safe out there.